Do you ever walk away from a perfectly normal conversation and spend the next 2 hours replaying every word you said? Not because something went wrong, but because you want to be sure. Do you ever pick up on things in a room that no one else seems to notice? The tension between two people, the edge in someone's voice that they swore meant nothing. Do you ever wish your brain came with an off switch? If you said yes, you're not anxious, you're not broken. Psychologists have studied people exactly like you for decades, and they have a name for what you are, and an explanation for why you work this way. By the end of this video, you'll understand yourself in a way you never have before. Here's what gets misunderstood about this. Everyone calls it overthinking. Like you just need to journal more, meditate, or try harder to let things go. And you've probably tried all of that. But here's what the research actually says. Dr. Elaine Aron spent decades studying people who feel and notice more than others. She found that roughly 1 in 4 people is born with a nervous system that is more sensitive than average. Not something you developed, not something a therapist would diagnose or try to fix. A personality trait, like being introverted or left-handed. A slight shift in someone's tone. A silence that ran a beat too long. That gut feeling that something is off. Your brain catches all of it, weighs it, holds on to it. Not because you're too sensitive, because you were built to catch more. The question is, why? And when did it start? When something works, your brain remembers it and does it again. At some point, reading people carefully worked. You adjusted your tone and the conversation stayed safe. Your nervous system logged it. This works, run it again. And that pattern got stronger every time. Until it stopped being a choice. It became automatic, the way you breathe. You don't think about it, it just happens. The problem isn't that the strategy was wrong, is that what we learn in one chapter of life doesn't update when that chapter ends. The scan that kept you safe back then is still running now, even if what it's scanning for no longer exists. Dr. Susan Albers at the Cleveland Clinic identified one specific structure, the amygdala, the part of your brain that decides what counts as a threat. In most people, it's quiet until something actually goes wrong. In a highly sensitive nervous system, it never fully powers down. It stays on alert, reading everything, all the time, even when you're somewhere completely safe. So your body runs on stress hormones, not because your life is hard, but because your nervous system can't tell the difference between real danger and an awkward pause in conversation. That's where the exhaustion comes from. Not the events themselves, the constant preparation for them. Researchers at Ghent University studied 498 people and found that the biggest driver isn't how hard your life actually is, but how often you watch your own thoughts, being aware of them as they happen, like a director in the back of your mind critiquing every take in real time. Dr. Edward Watkins at the University of Exeter scanned the brains of people who do this frequently and found that the neural connections involved are physically different, measurably so, as seen on fMRI scans. This isn't just how you feel, it's how you're wired. And wiring can be rebuilt, not by thinking harder, but by understanding what you're actually working with. You're at a party, laughing, holding a drink. Fine, from the outside. But there's a second conversation running underneath. One only you can hear. She just looked over my shoulder. Was that boredom? Was my laugh too loud? I'm nodding too much. Stop nodding. By the time someone new walks over, you've already lost the thread of what you were saying. Not because you're distracted, because you were never fully there. You were in the editing room the whole time, reviewing footage of yourself in real time. That same mind walks into work on Monday. Within 10 minutes, you've already clocked that 2 colleagues haven't made eye contact all morning. That the energy feels off in a way you can't name. Maybe I'm making this up. Or maybe it's real, and I'm the last to know. You can't verify it. You can't let it go. So it just runs, all day. A background program nobody installed, and nobody knows how to uninstall. Then you go home for dinner. Food is fine. No one is fighting. But you're still tracking. Your mom's tone. Your dad's silence. The thing your sister almost said and then didn't. And what breaks you isn't any one of those moments. It's that there's no version of your day, not at a party, not at the office, not at the dinner table, where you can just be present. The scanning never stops, even when you're in your own kitchen. Even when, more than anything, you want it to stop. Here's where most content about sensitivity gets it wrong. It either romanticizes this or treats it like something to fix. Both miss the point. There's a version of this wiring that works in your favor. You catch tension before it becomes conflict. You notice when someone's not okay before they've said a word. Awareness that moves, observes, then lets go. And then there's the version that doesn't move. The replay that runs past the point of learning anything. The scan that fires in places you already know are safe. The line between them is simpler than you think. More than 30 minutes replaying one event, or the same loop more than 5 times a day, that's no longer processing. That's just noise. The clearest signal isn't time, though. It's your body. Walk away clearer. That was insight. Walk away with your jaw clenched and shoulders up. Your nervous system ran a program it didn't need. You can't think your way out of that state. Thinking harder is exactly what got you there. At some point, someone probably told you you're too sensitive, too intense, too much. And some part of you believed them. Dr. Aaron's research uses different words. Not overly sensitive, highly sensitive. Overly means you're doing something wrong. Like there's a correct amount of feeling and you went over it. Highly just means you're wired differently. That's it. What researchers found is that people with this trait aren't simply more vulnerable, they're more responsive. In both directions. Difficult environment, they feel it more. Right conditions, real support, work that fits, they don't just do okay, they flourish. The same sensitivity that makes a bad situation harder makes a good one exceptional. This trait shows up in over 100 animal species, across every group, in every generation, needed people who could sense what others missed, who saw what was coming. They weren't the broken ones. Neither are you. You're running a high-resolution version of a very human system. It picks up more. It costs more. And once you understand it, it stops feeling like a flaw to manage and starts feeling like something you can actually use. You've been carrying something without a name. Highly sensitive. Not a diagnosis, not a weakness. Just a more accurate description of how you've always worked, and why some days cost you more than they should. You were never too much. You were just never given the right framework to understand what you were actually dealing with. And that changes tonight. Leave a comment. Which moment in this video felt most like you? I read every single one. See you in the next one.